Legacy Maker, the All Sports
The
Network.
place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you'll be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel, James Brown, Joe Dillard Jr., and Drew Willingham. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Legacy on Fire here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, episode 37. Creeping up there, having a little fun with it, but we're back to bring you the heat this week on another episode of Legacy on Fire. And today with me, I have my esteemed panel. I mean, I'm talking about a bunch of amazing people, ladies and gentlemen, amazing people with me. And I'm going to start this one off by introducing them. First and foremost, he is the host of the In or Out Sports Debate here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And creeping close to 50 there, Drew? Huh?
45, my man down below me, James, was there last night to help me out with getting 45, so we're getting close to 50. We'll be there soon enough. And Joe was there last week, and you're there next week. So between all of you guys, we got like the In or Out Sports Debate in one realm right now. So thank you guys for helping me out. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, brother. It's an honor, man. Like, it's gonna be great because I'm excited, man. You're about to hit the 50 mark, the milestone there. So congratulations, Drew.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
And of course, below me, he is the man that is in charge of the Commonwealth Sports Talk here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Our man and avid Commanders fan, by the way, Mr. Joe Dillard Jr. How you doing, brother?
Another day in paradise. You know how I roll, man. Glad to have you. Glad to be on here. Glad to have you, brother. And of course, last but not least, he is our Virginia Tech beat writer. He is one of our top analysts on the network and avid Falcons fan, Mr. James Brown. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Glad to be back another week here with the guys that talk sports. I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right, let's get started. And let's get started off with the one sentence session, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start off with one sentence. And the one sentence one for everybody today, LSU's loss to Florida State. Now, this one was kind of surprising. It was a back and forth great game. So I just kind of want to hear one sentence from everybody on LSU and Florida State. And we'll start this one off with Mr. Joe Dillard Jr.
Thank you, Deion Sanders, for baptizing Florida State back into the world of relevancy as we have been born back into nations or Tallahassee tribes. So I just want to be welcomed back by Deion after getting beat by Jackson State. We have been a better team since that point. So thank you, Deion.
Needed that. Drew, what are your thoughts on LSU's loss to Florida State? One sentence.
Brian Kelly, you better brush up on your special teams coordination. If not, you better pack your bags and take it back to Notre Dame because that was a travesty. What are y'all doing over there?
Bad deal. James, one sentence, LSU and Florida State.
Kickers are people too until they miss kicks.
This is true. Kickers are people too.
Until they miss kicks.
Crazy game. What a crazy 2 minutes, right, fellas? I mean, for that to go from the greatest of highs to the greatest of lows, just like that. That's what college football will do to you.
It's crazy.
Next one on one sentence. This one's a very interesting one. Now, this one is weird because the first report came out, Chase Young re-aggravates his ACL injury, and Washington fans are like, what? But then today we find out maybe not so much, that a reporter may have elaborated the truth just a little bit. So, fellas, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? And I'm going to start with Drew. One sentence. What are your thoughts on this situation?
Credibility. Where is this coming from? Open book, shut book case. Like, that's it.
Awesome. Joe, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I went from being Red Fox in one moment, saying, "Oh my Lord, this is the big one." Wait a minute, what happened? So it's kind of a seesaw feeling right there. They're playing with my emotions before week one.
It's not the way to do things. Not with Jacksonville coming into town, ladies and gentlemen. James, what are your thoughts on that one sentence? Chase Young's quote unquote injury.
I'm gonna say clickbait for a potential trade candidate.
You left that one out there, didn't you? Oh, I kind of want to hear more.
I mean, the way I see it, man. All right, so if we look at it, the way the Commanders team is built, especially on defense, they got 2-star D tackles, they got 2-star edge rushers. It's coming time to pay those guys. You already paid what? Jonathan Allen already got paid.
Allen's got paid, and
Allen's gotten paid. Sweat's on the I think he's on the block to be paid. It's either this season, this off season, or next off season.
Yeah.
Then you got to think Payne's coming up to get paid. Young's coming up to get paid. You can't pay all of them. So somebody's gonna miss out on that check in DC.
Somebody gonna miss out.
But that don't mean they can't get it elsewhere. So I'm gonna say, Young could be on the trade block, man. I mean, he's a great pass rusher, still a young guy, still developing. But if you're Washington, like I said, you got Sweat, you got some young guys. You could probably develop behind Sweat. You could flip Young for a couple picks. I mean, pass rushers go for a lot, man. What,
28-7?
What? He said 28-7.
28-7. What's the meaning of 28-7, Joe?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just paid. Thomas Edward Brady's score at halftime that he had to defeat the Falcons with. I cannot take too much.
Why they doing my man like this? That's
I cannot take too much.
First of all,
do not put Chase on the trading block, and we're asking for one sentence. We're about to get a whole soliloquy on why Chase is about to be traded. And the man got a false report.
If you gonna do it, you got to do it right. It was 28-3.
He took points away.
My fault.
No, it was worse. Yeah.
But yeah.
My fault.
Just for that, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the same Bleach Report guy and say, look, Chase Young's on the trade block. Put it out there.
Did not put it out there.
Put it out there. I mean, I'm not willing to put anything out there, apparently. So
I just can't believe all the reports, though, man. Just because you got one, like we were talking about at the beginning, that it's insinuating that it happened at Von Miller's camp,
right?
And the other one talks about him rehabbing from an injury from back in last November. So there's conflicting reports. You can't believe it all out there, but just the credibility of the one and where it came from. That's where I said my one sentence is like, I believe it when I see it from like the legitimate sources of where it comes from.
It was just a really weird thing to do. And now you may have lost all your credibility just like that. Shame. Next one, we're going to head to our fire starters. Now we're going to get the countdown clock rolling. First one on the fire starters, Will Aaron Judge. And I know Drew talked about this a little bit yesterday on his show. So it's going to be great to kind of hear what you guys got to say here. But will Aaron Judge reach 62 home runs? I'm very intrigued now, and I'm going to start off with James. James, will Aaron Judge reach 62 home runs? He hit 55 today.
I'm going to say he gets it. Like you said, he's already at 55 home runs. I believe they have about, 20 or so games to go left on the schedule. I like those numbers. So, he's got 20 more cracks at it to get to 62. So I'm going to say he gets it, man. I mean, he's having a phenomenal year. He's a power hitter. And, definitely looks good that he's doing it in a Yankees uniform. I guess it's good for the world of baseball as well. So I'm going to say he gets it.
All right. Drew, I'm going to swing to you, brother. I heard a little bit of what you had to say yesterday. Kind of want to know, man, like, you think he definitely gets 62?
I mean, he's heating up, man. He got to 50 home runs before the end of August. So absolutely, I feel like he's going to get this. The number that I've got him at is at 66 home runs. I feel like he's going to get 4 more than the record, set the AL record at 66 without the juice, and do it the right way. I do not like the Yankees. I've never liked the Yankees. I've never liked what they stand for. However, in this year, in this moment, to have this chase as well as Pujols' chase to 700, it's been great to see. And I feel like they both kind of helped take the pressure off one of another with this, because they have 2 great stories, and the media is basically paying attention to both of them and not really putting the pressure solely on one side. So I really like this here. I feel like he gets to 66.
I like it. I like it. Me personally, I got 64, but 66 would be nice to see him get the AL record. Joe, we head to you, brother. What's the deal?
I got him hitting above 62 as well. We're talking about after the home All-Star break, he's been leading the Yankees the whole way. Like, if there's any sign of life in New York, it's been Judge. And so I feel like with him leading the way and being hot like he is, 7 home runs is easy with 20 games left. I just feel like he's got an opportunity to just catch fire these last 4 or 5 games, 2 or 3 series, and really set the stone where he could break that Yankees record.
All right. Everybody's feeling pretty good about it. And, I'll be honest with you guys. I just love the history aspect. I mean, when was baseball its greatest? Even though it was steroid era, or at least in our generation, we saw Sammy Sosa, we saw Mark McGwire, even Barry Bonds in his time. We saw those guys chasing for those home run records, and it always made baseball fun. But man, I tell you, I pray that Albert Pujols gets to 700. I know he said he's not coming back. I don't care if they lollipop the ball to my man. Give my man to 700. I just want to see it happen, man. I don't want him to be cheated out of it, but I really do hope he gets it.
I do too, but like I said on episode 43 on Sunday, I feel like he cools off at 698, 699.
I think he's going to be close.
The 1 home run race, I feel like Aaron Judge gets it. Pujols is going to have to come back next year, even though he doesn't want to. And you got to put your body through a lot to come back at age 42, then 43. So I get it. However, it's going to be tough. Aaron Judge has more favorable pitching in the month of September than Pujols does, in my opinion, when you really dive into it.
Right. Right. So, I mean, we'll see. And hopefully both of them get it. And as baseball fans, we can sit back and say, this has been a nice year. And there's one other thing that need to happen, but we'll talk about that at another time. Come on, Mariners, please don't do me dirty. All right, let's go to the next fire starter. The NFL season, ladies and gentlemen, is tomorrow. And I know everybody in this room is excited. The NFL opener as the Buffalo Bills take their way to or they head out to LA to take on the defending Super Bowl champion LA Rams. A lot of people see this as a potential Super Bowl matchup down the road, but I just want to know about tomorrow night and everybody's thoughts on just that. Joe, I am going to start with you, my man. What are your thoughts on this Bills and Ram matchup for tomorrow?
I think it's the perfect way to start the NFL season off with 2 aspiring teams. You've got your champion, your Super Bowl Rams, and then the Bills, who's everybody's favorite right now. Everybody wants to see how Josh Allen's going to perform this year, and there's no better way to get started than having number 99 in front of you every down to see how you react to that. So I think this is going to be a great matchup, star-studded matchup. I think the Bills are ready to persevere because they got a complete roster this year. And I think that even though the Rams have star power, reigning champs, I think the Bills are going to edge this one out a little bit when it comes to just having a complete football team and playing on all 3 phases, complementary football.
All right. We're going to swing to James. What are your thoughts on this contest tomorrow, brother?
Man, I'm definitely excited. I love the matchup. Like Joe said, you got the media darling in the Bills, everybody's media Super Bowl pick. You got the returning champs in the Rams, opening things up at home, dropping that banner. I mean, it's going to be intense. It's going to be excitement. Aaron Donald, Josh Allen. But not even that, we get to see Jalen Ramsey against Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. Maybe, we'll get to see if there's another emerging corner on the Rams to help Ramsey out on the other side because we know he can't cover everybody. He might try to, but, he can't cover 2 at once. But, if he does find a way to pull it off, I wouldn't be surprised. I love Ramsey, man. I love him on the back end. But I'm expecting a good game. Maybe a little bit of a shootout, but I definitely feel like that Buffalo defense in the end, maybe Von Miller comes off the edge 1 or 2 times, gets a couple sacks late, and I got Buffalo winning it maybe by about a field goal, but I think Buffalo takes this one tomorrow night, but I'm praying for a great game.
All right. So Buffalo, okay, Buffalo looking strong so far. Drew, do you change the minds of people here?
I feel like the Rams are going to win this one at home, and this is going to be the slap in the face of the Bills that motivates them for the rest of the season to go far in the playoffs, knowing that they should have beat the defending champions at home while raising the banner to upset them to start the season, even though a lot of people don't think that it would be an upset for the Bills to beat the Rams. I think it's going to be the other way around. I think that the Rams are going to upset at home, which – going against a team in the Bills that should have gone a little bit further last year, in my opinion. That team is going to go to the Super Bowl, which we'll talk about that later on the show, in my opinion. But I feel like this is going to be the swift kick in the rear end if the Bills need to motivate them for the rest of the season.
I like that.
It's crazy because I you don't usually see the Super Bowl champion go into a game like feeling like an underdog, but and at home because
Broncos did.
Yeah, the Broncos did. And in the past, I think the Super Bowl champion has only lost his game maybe like once or twice since the NFL started implementing that Thursday night game, and the champions usually host that game. And I think only twice that I think maybe the Patriots lost once, and I want to say a couple of years ago, I can't remember who the other team was, but it doesn't happen often. So the odds are kind of stacked against the Bills here, but I guess we'll see. All right, y'all, we're heading over to the main flame. And so the main flame, we're going to start off with the NFC division winners. So I want to hear from the guys. We're going to have 2 minutes on the clock to see who they got winning the division for the NFC. I'm excited to see on this one. And I'm going to start this one off with James. James, just want to know, man, who do you got winning in the NFC?
All right, so let's get the easy one out of the way first. NFC South, Tampa Bay Bucks will win the division again this year. Tom Brady's coming back for, I believe, one last hurrah. I still think they have the best team total in that division. Yeah, they had a few injuries on the offensive line, but I feel like, they can overcome that. I feel like they'll get some of their guys back. And over the course of the season, I feel like they do emerge as champs in the NFC South. Maybe New Orleans gives them a run for their money, but Tampa Bay is taking it. In the East, I like the Philadelphia Eagles to win the East, man. I really do. I love what they did this past offseason, going out, getting Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. Not only that, getting them on the defensive side, picking up Jordan Davis to pair with Fletcher Cox. Those two guys in the middle of the defensive line will be space eaters to eat up against the run. I love what Philly's got going on. I'm taking them to win the East. In the NFC North, I know the Packers have run roughshod over the division for a while. They got the 2-time reigning MVP, all that jazz. Sounds good. I'm going with the Vikings this year, though. I feel like Kirk Cousins, he's got a new offensive coach.
I hate the Vikings.
I know you don't like it, but
I
got that feeling, man. It's purple people eater time, man. So I got the Vikings winning it. Like I said, Cousins, he's got a new head coach and Kevin O'Connell. Him and O'Connell had that relationship previously from Washington, so it's kind of like, they're kind of picking up on old times. So I feel like they get it done this year in the North. And the NFC West, man, that one is going to be a little bit of a slugfest. Awesome. We got a lot of heavy hitters in that division. And I think I'm going to roll with the defending champs because I know that they're set at their quarterback position, whereas the Niners, which I believe will be the runners-up, we don't know what we could see. We could see a great Trey Lance. We could see a bad Trey Lance into an okay Jimmy G. We just never know what we're going to get at the quarterback position.
All right, we'll see. Those are James's NFC division winners. Drew, who are your NFC division winners, brother?
Well, it sure isn't the Vikings. I'm sorry, James. I can't even fathom where that came from. I'm sorry. But I'll start with my number 4 ranked out of the NFC, and I'm going to go with the NFC least. That is the Philadelphia Eagles is my first pick with the NFC division winners. I just see that with Jalen Hurts being there, I feel like he's been groomed a little bit more into where he can definitely take this division. Don't have high hope for the Cowboys, especially not the Commies or the Giants. So I'm going with the Eagles for that NFC East pick. When it comes to the NFC West, it's the 3rd ranked for the NFC conference. I'm going with the Rams. I've got the division getting locked up there in the NFC West by the defending Super Bowl champs. I feel like they can do it just barely, but I feel like they can do it over the 49ers in this division. When it comes to the NFC South, I've got Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II leading the Buccaneers to another division win. Don't know if it's last to Rob. Probably is with the 11-day break that he had to take because of his unexpected return to football and had to deal with some life things that he had described in his conference. So I'm going to say that this is potentially his last hurrah as well. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II gets another division win for the NFC South and the Buccaneers. Lastly, at number 1, again, not the Vikings. Will not pick the Vikings, especially at number 1 ranked in the NFC conference, especially coming out of the NFC North. Got to go with Darrell's team. Shout out to his team here, and that is the Green Bay Packers at number 1 for the NFC conference. Despite losing Devontae Adams and going to the Raiders, I feel like he is going to spread that ball around just like he learned from watching NFL films and Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II and all of those drives that he did and all of those playoff wins. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers this year. I'll get to that in a little bit.
Let's pray that everything you just said comes true. Joe, we swing to you. Who are the NFC division winners, brother?
Well, we're going to start off with the one I don't have to explain too long. I'm going to go with the Rams on the NFC West. I just think that they're just that much better than everybody. And the 49ers will need a couple of games to adjust. So I believe that will separate the Rams or give them a chance to claim the division and allow the 49ers, if they get in, to get in as a wild card. The North, it's definitely not Minnesota. I'm going with Green Bay again. I feel like they own this division. Until somebody comes up and beats Green Bay, I can't strip them of the title. To be the man, you got to beat the man, and Green Bay knows who they are in that division. That's why Aaron Rodgers chose to come back to that division. He knew how easy it would be to get another division title. So I'm going with Green Bay in that realm. I'm going to go with a shocker in the South. I'm going to get the New Orleans Saints the nod above the Tampa Bay Bucks, because the Saints already have the Bucks number. And I feel like with so much going on in Tampa Bay, it's only going to take 1 or 2 games for the Saints to have an opportunity to slide into that role. And I think Jameis Winston, with his targets, it's really about to surprise a lot of people this year. I really expect big things for famous Jameis. That's my Florida State shout out for you right there. So I've got the Saints winning the South. And the NFC least, it's definitely not Dallas.
My man.
It's definitely not
Dallas. Sorry.
I can accept anybody but Dallas.
Poor guy.
But since I had to pick a team, I went with the paper champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. You can't beat paper champs.
I love it.
And Washington knows about paper champs, so you don't really want that title. But I'm giving Philly the paper champ division title role, and we'll see if they can hold on.
Man, that's interesting. All right, so and I'll go quick. I'm not picking against Green Bay. If Green Bay doesn't win, I hope Detroit wins the division. I'm just gonna throw that out there. If we don't win the division, I pray that Detroit wins the division because I like Dan Campbell. Just gonna throw that out there.
Hard knocks because they ate all the
and I forgot to watch that yesterday. I got to watch that last episode, but that's besides the point. And then I'm going with Thomas Brady in the squad. I'm not going against the Bucks. And then I am going to pick the Dallas Cowboys. I just think Dallas is going to find a way to win the division. It's important for Dallas this year. Yes, they did lose Amari Cooper, but I think Dallas, I think they might I think Zeke might be actually fully healthy for the first time in a couple years. And that's going to be critical for this Dallas team. They're definitely going to need that. And then I'm going to go with the Rams. I want to pick the Cardinals, but I don't think they have enough discipline to win that division. So I'm going to go with the Rams. All right, y'all, we're swinging to the AFC on this next one, and the AFC division winners. This one I feel like is going to be a fun one because I think this is going to be way harder than people think, especially with the way everything has been. The AFC is so strong. So I know these are going to be a little bit harder for the fellas, but I am going to start off with Drew. Drew, I want to know your AFC division winners, man. Like, who do you got winning the divisions, brother?
So Before I get started, I want to go ahead and say I didn't say it last time. I want to give my wild card teams this time. I want to say that I've got the Bengals, Chargers, and Raiders being the wild card teams for the AFC. They'll still get in the playoffs, but they will be wild card teams. Starting off with the fourth ranked, I would say that in the AFC South coming out of there would be the Indianapolis Colts getting into there as the AFC South champs for this AFC conference. Coming out of the third spot in the AFC North, I would say would be the Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson. Contract year, definitely going to try to get that paper, and he's going to prove it by leading them to the playoffs and as division champs in that third spot, but won't get the bye, unfortunately, because the number 2 spot will go to the AFC West champs, which will be the Kansas City Chiefs, led by old Patrick Mahomes II, and definitely wants to get back to that groove because he definitely fell off a little bit last year, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many other fans as well as media personnel as well. And number 1, in my pick to at least go to the Super Bowl, and that is coming out of the AFC East, and that is the Buffalo Bills. Just like I was talking about earlier with our take earlier, when it comes to this opening matchup with the Rams, I feel like this is going to be the smack in the mouth that they are going to need to wake up and be like, hey, we are a good team, but we need motivation to push us through for the rest of the year. And what better way than to lose the first game of the season to the Super Bowl defending champions, and you have the rest of the season to make up for it. Of course, you're not going to go undefeated the rest of the season, but you'll have that first loss to think about. They get to celebrate their Super Bowl championship. Screw those guys. We want that Super Bowl championship, and you lost to them, and now you have the motivation because you see on the other side of it what it's like to watch somebody else celebrate without being in a Super Bowl, mind you, but being on the other side of raising that banner and watching that, you'll get to see that, get smacked in the mouth, have the motivation, get to the Super Bowl, and beat the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl 31-24.
That hurts my heart when you say that out loud. Next one, we're going to Joe. We're going to Joe. 2 minutes. Your AFC division winners.
I mean, what Drew said, and I don't want to use the whole 2 minutes saying what Drew said, but I mean, I've got the Colts.
That's a good one.
Got the Colts, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bills. Now I'm going to go and dissect what Darrell said earlier. This was actually easy to pick.
Really?
Now, about being right, not so sure about how many of us feel we're going to be right, because I feel this is the deepest division or conference of the two, obviously, where there's at least 9 or 10 formidable teams that can make the postseason in the AFC. But I know that top 4, top 5 tier is very heavy. And so Colts win by default. Chiefs are going to have to really bust their butt to get out of that division with the Chargers, with the Raiders. And I just feel like they're going to have an opportunity to extend. Even though everybody's like, oh, what's going to happen with Patrick? Patrick's going to go off this year. And so he's going to have a chance to make the Bills have to work hard all the way through the season to secure the number 1 spot. This is where we're going here, where we're talking about 1 bye versus 2 byes. And now there's going to be a battle between the Chiefs and Bills going down to the end. And, hey, the Chargers could be in that mix flowing with it, and so could another AFC West team because that division is tight. But I'm just saying, man, there's so many right picks that you could defend and still be completely wrong because it's the AFC and it's loaded. So what Drew said.
What Drew said. Okay. I like that. James, we head to you, brother. Who do you got winning the AFC?
I think we got, this might
at
be
least the AFC
winners.
My fault.
So for the division winners in the AFC, of course, coming out of the East, easy. Buffalo, the Bills will take that one. If you're into sports betting, go ahead and lock that in now. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I tell you, coming out of the AFC North, I do like the Colts to win it. I feel like their main competition is going to be the Titans, but with Tennessee, we saw they lost their 2 top receivers and A.J. Brown being traded, Julio Jones being released. So Ryan Tannehill, he's got to break in some new receivers. He's got Robert Woods to replace them, but might be iffy. And then, Derrick Henry, if he can stay healthy, they might be competitive in the AFC South. They got the Colts winning it. Let's see, AFC North, I do like the Ravens. I feel like, last year they would have won it or took it by storm if Lamar hadn't gotten hurt. They were at one point the number 1 seed in the AFC prior to his injury. I feel like Lamar's back. He's healthy, bigger, stronger this season. So I feel like we see the Ravens do it again. They take the North, and going out to the gauntlet out west, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, I don't know who that was, but yeah, we'll take Kansas City out west. And I got my homeboy doing it again, man. It's hard to pick against the Chiefs, in my opinion. I mean, I know they lost Tyreek Hill, but like we said, I mean, they still got Andy Reid. He's the engine that drives the train out there with Mahomes. They still got Bieniemy, so everything's still in place from an offensive scheming perspective. Not to mention they went out, they added some receivers. They got Juju now. They drafted Sky Moore. They added Marquise Valdez-Scantling. So, I feel like Mahomes still has his weapons, and of course he's got Kelsey. So I'm taking the Chiefs out west.
I'm sorry,
Let's ask our special guest.
Ask our special guest. Hey, look, I was sitting there, and it threw me off. I was looking. I said, "What in the world is going on?" I swear, I locked the door. I swear, I locked the door. I don't know what happened there. You can leave now, son. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Shout out DJ.
Shout out to DJ.
What's up, DJ?
Always finding a way to sneak in the show at some point. Drew's
Gotta
in
get the
tears.
people what
Drew's
they
dying over there. You all right, Drew?
That was great. That was great. Oh man, we're gonna have to play that back for him one day when he wants to be on the network.
Right,
like you already had your moment.
It threw me off. I was like, I saw the door open. I was like, what? Shouldn't be opening like that.
Like you already got your cameo.
Yeah, I know, right? So real quick, I'll go through mine before we head to our last main flame. And I agree, Buffalo. Buffalo's going to win the East unless, God forbid there's an injury to Josh Allen. And if that's the case, it is probably more likely a toss-up between the Patriots and Miami. In the South, it's got to be the Colts. I mean, you got, with Matt Ryan being there, that gives him should give him a little bit more stability at the quarterback position with one of the best offensive lines in football. Should be no reason why they don't win that division with Jonathan Taylor. Let me not forget the greatness as Jonathan Taylor with a really good defense. The team that may surprisingly shock people in this division will be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Watch, I really think that they're going to play better football this year. They may not win that division, but they're going to be competitive. So I think I like what I'm hearing so far from Trevor Lawrence and what everybody's saying down there. So we'll see there. Then we go to the North. I'm going with the Bengals. I'm not going to put I know a lot of people want to pick the Ravens, and it's not a bad pick. I mean, you got Lamar Jackson, and James said it best, I believe. They were 9-3. Heading into 1.1, number 1 seed, Lamar gets hurt, everything changes. They lose 6 in a row. Whole different dream. I look at it like that, but I like Joe Burrow. I like what they got offensively. They've gotten a little bit better on the defensive side. I got the Bengals. And then in the division that's just going to be crazy, I'm going to pick the Raiders. I think that, I think Derek Carr showed last year the type of leadership he can bring to a team. He's been begging to get Devontae Adams on this team. He's got him now. You better go make do with him. So I'm going to go with the Raiders.
You think Devontae Adams is that piece that pushes him over the edge to get to that point?
Look, they've got a connection like no other. They've been friends for a long, long time. And if you can't pitch and catch with your best friend, you know what I'm saying? If you can't pitch and catch with your best friend, you don't deserve to win the division. So I feel really good about it. They've got weapons. Hunter Renfrow is going to have a great year. I know he had a great year last year with 103 catches, but they're going to be so focused on Devontae. Watch him play that, Wes Welker, that, Edelman Road, that Josh McDaniels made, greatness out there in New England. And I think he's going to use Renfrow in that way. So watch out for him. All right, everybody. Last main flame we're going to hit you up with before we get to the put out the fire segment is the Super Bowl 57 predictions. Who you got here? Now, I know Drew kind of spilled the beans a little bit, so Drew, I'm going to let you go first so you can, elaborate a little bit on who you got going in the 57. I know you kind of want to break down the playoffs a little bit, so Drew, we'll start with you.
So I do not see Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II even sniffing the NFC Championship. He's going to lose in the second round. I've got the Packers beating the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl and the Bills beating the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl in my prediction. When you put all that in the equation, the Packers and the Bills are going to be the ones that face each other in the Super Bowl. Packers are going to be led by Aaron Rodgers, the 3-time NFL MVP, 3-time back-to-back-to-back MVP.
Oh man, that would be. I don't want
and
that
he's going to prove that by passing to literally 8 different wide receivers this year. And Allen Lazard is going to become the guy, the number 1 guy in Green Bay as far as wide receivers. He will not be the number 1 wide receiver in the league. So don't think that I'm smoking lettuce and coming up on here telling you all these crazy things or something, because no, Allen Lazard is not the number 1 in the league. However, when it comes to the Packers, he will be number 1 this year, leading other guys that are no-name guys pretty much before this season. So the Buffalo Bills are going to be led by Josh Allen. They're going to win this game 31-24. And I feel like, in my opinion, Josh Allen will have earned that right to be an MVP. But I'm also going to go one step further. I feel like Josh Allen is going to become the 7th person and join an elite group of people who have swept the regular season and Super Bowl MVP honors, joining Bart Starr, Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, Emmitt Smith, Steve Young, and Kurt Warner as one of 7 people to get an MVP during the regular season and the Super Bowl in the same year. So, Josh Allen, this soundbite better be worth it. You better make me look good here in the next 4 or 5 months.
Make me look good,
because I just threw it all out there for you. The red carpet is laid out there for you, J.A. Just make it happen, my man.
So I just want to let you know that if this doesn't happen, Josh Allen, Drew will be coming up to Biff to make sure things are taken care of. I heard that earlier. Biff, that's hilarious.
Got it. Yeah.
Joe, what are your thoughts, man? Super Bowl 57. What's your prediction?
Not what Drew said, okay? Not what Drew.
180 from earlier.
We're gonna go right in a different direction this time. So I'll start with Allen. I'll give him your league MVP. No, I can't even do that. I just think it's a disappointing year for the Buffalo Bills. I think they're gonna fall short on everything. I think they're gonna get to the AFC Championship game and lose to the Chiefs. I think that just Mahomes is on a mission. M&M's is what I'm going to call it all year. Mahomes is on a mission. So I think the Chiefs will represent the AFC. And then coming out of the NFC, I do have the Rams beating the Bucks. I think Aaron Donald is going to put Tom Brady into full retirement. I think that interior guard center little mishap right now that may not be an issue will be an issue at the end of the year. And it's just a matter of how and who. And if you're facing Aaron Donald, that would be an example right there. So I have the Rams beating the Bucks and then losing to the Chiefs, similar to how the Chiefs did a back-to-back, similar to how the Seahawks did a back-to-back, where you just don't have enough, but you had it lined up for you. So I've got the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl against the Rams. I just think Mahomes is too much right now, and I think he's got a point to prove with Kelsey. I think they really got a chip on their shoulder. I'm pretty sure that Andy Reid's been in the playoff every year, so they can sleepwalk to the playoffs, and you can dissect it however you want during the year. Oh, it's too high. They don't want to throw deep. Oh, he doesn't know how to adjust. He's done everything that's been asked. He's got all the arsenals now, and the worst thing about it is that you don't have 2 targets to focus on. You only really have Kelsey now. You have Kelsey, you double team Kelsey, it opens up the sidelines like crazy. So I know there's some burners over there that they could use. So there's a lot of opportunity for the Chiefs this year, and I think they're going to exploit that.
All right, I love how you took that 2 minutes to the T there, buddy. I love how, and not what Drew said. That's what we got from that. Not what Drew said. Not this time, anyway. James,
what you right?
James, what you got for us, brother? Who goes in Super Bowl 57?
Man, I think Joe was looking at my playbook, man, because I too
what Joe
have
said.
The Chiefs and the Rams in the Super Bowl. So yeah, that's my Super Bowl pick as well, man. Kansas City meeting LA in the championship game. Like Joe said, I feel like Mahomes is on a mission this year because as quiet as it's been kept, Tyreek Hill did leave. And while Mahomes, Andy Reid, they've been playing it off like, gonna miss him. It was nice having him. Terrible that he feels that way, that he didn't get enough touches, enough targets, enough touchdowns. It's all good. He's not here anymore. Loved him while he was here. Behind closed doors, I'm pretty sure they're burning, eating up, like ready to go to make sure, like, look, not only are we going to win another one without you, we're going to dominate without you, seeing as how you felt like you were just such the intricate piece to this offense. We're going to show you what it's like to be in Kansas City. Absolutely. So I feel like that fire drives the Chiefs this year, along with not really the doubt, but the feeling that Mahomes is falling back to the pack with this young quarterback crop that's emerging. I feel like that kind of lights a fire on them as well to like reemerge yourself. Like, no, I'm the guy. I'm the face of the league. I'm the number one quarterback. This is my world. You happen to inhabit it. So I got the Chiefs going all the way this year, going against the Rams. I feel like coming out of the NFC in that NFC Championship game, I'd like to see Rams versus Buccaneers, being it Tom Brady's last hurrah. I feel like he falls just short of that 8th ring. So I feel like it's going to be Rams versus Bucs in the NFC Championship. On the AFC side, I got Kansas City beating the Bills. Mahomes seems to be not only the Ravens' kryptonite, but the Bills' kryptonite as well. So I feel like it's another year of him dominating. So I got Bills losing in the AFC Championship game, Mahomes and the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl by beating the current Super Bowl champs, the Rams.
Interesting. I love the display on that one. All right, so I'm just gonna go straight. I'm gonna give AFC and NFC. So NFC, I got Rams and Bucks. And I think Tom does get back to that, that he gets another Super Bowl. Just something about Tom Brady. And then I got Raiders and Bills. I got Raiders and Bills going to the AFC in the AFC Championship, but I got Bills winning. I got Bills winning the Super Bowl over the Buccaneers. So I just want to see Buffalo. This could be the fan in me a little bit. I just want to see the city of Buffalo get that ring. I think that's just if obviously if it's not the team back there, I want to be able to see a team that's never won it before, and being able to see Buffalo celebrate that to me would just be special.
The fan and you better get ready for a Bills and Packers Super Bowl.
I'm hoping so. Look, Drew, I want you to be right. Other than the fact you got us losing.
Picked Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II over Aaron Rodgers.
And we talking about Tom Brady.
3-time MVP at that point.
We're talking about Tom Brady.
First of all, Joe Burrow is the MVP this year. And second of all, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
That's great. That's great.
I just can't give it to Tom Brady because the questions around that offensive line. I don't know how we're going to be talking about him towards the 3 quarters towards the end of the season, like between that point of the season. I don't know how we're going to have this conversation at that point of the year. That's why I just can't be throwing it all in on Tom Brady at this point.
It really is a tough go this year. I think there's only a couple teams in the NFC I feel like they can win it, but the AFC, there's like 6 teams. If they won it, I wouldn't be surprised. Like everybody, 3 teams for sure in the AFC West. The Broncos, I'm not sure if they're ready yet, but they'll definitely be competing. The other 3 teams in there, and then you got Buffalo. It's a lot. It's a lot, but.
Now with the 7th team that you've got per conference, that kind of throws a curveball, kind of like how the MLB playoffs we've been talking about here recently too. It's all been constructed different. Yeah, it's all been constructed differently, and I know you're really pushing for that with the MLB, but just throwing an extra team per conference throws major curveballs into the whole dynamic of the playoffs in general.
Yeah, it definitely does change it. And now that they only have one team getting the bye, that definitely just it changes. The Packers have gotten the last 2 years and hadn't made a difference. So it is what it is. But I look at it and you almost want to kind of go on the road or you want to just play it throughout because you want to keep that momentum going. But the way it's set up now, anything can happen. Anything can happen. All right, y'all. It is time to
fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to put out the fire, and it should be a fun one this week. We're going to start with James. James, are you ready to put out the fire, sir?
Let's get it.
All right.
All right. So Kevin Durant's back in the news again, and this time he made headlines for calling out Ronnie 2K over his 2K rating for 2K23. He feels like he should be a 99. Currently, he's a 96. All right, KD, if that's honestly how you feel, bro, you get an opportunity to ball out this season. Ratings do progress throughout the season. If you feel like you're a 99, go out there, ball. Maybe then you'll get it. But just to sit here and say you believe that you're a 99, I believe I'm a millionaire. It ain't happening, right? It just didn't come like that. Get out there, ball. Your rating will go up. Where I feel like 2K got disrespectful was with Russell Westbrook. I mean, you gave him a 78. I think he's like, maybe the second or third best guard on the Lakers? It's like they put Pat Bev ahead of Russell Westbrook. And it's like nobody in their right mind believes that Patrick Beverley is anywhere close to being better than Russell Westbrook. So Westbrook being a 78, that's disrespectful. KD, you being a 96, I feel like it's on point. If you don't agree, go out there, ball out, get that rating up.
You know, it's funny. The only person that believes that they're great like that is Patrick. Patrick Beverley's the only person.
He's the only one.
I mean,
did you see like the press conference?
Yeah, I saw what he said.
AD and LeBron get to play with me because I made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, but Russell was there supporting him, and they are opposites, polar opposites. Russ don't play defense like Pat.
Yeah,
Russ can't shoot, and Pat can shoot a little bit. You know, like their game doesn't
smidge more than Russ.
Smidge more. So when you talk about ratings, they are kind of close now. That Russ hit a cliff.
Nah,
that Tom Brady cliff that everybody keeps talking about.
Yeah,
Russ hit that 10-point cliff. So he went from 88 to 78.
I think he should be at least an 85, man. Like I agree. The disrespect is real. I mean, this guy is a former MVP. I can see if he completely fell off the map, like just completely.
He's got
18, 7, and 7.
He got Kevin Love.
He's got Kevin Love, Minnesota Timberwolves numbers. Like when you're on a losing team, who cares about your numbers? Who cares about how many times you get the ball? Like that's what Russell's career is about. It's about him being ball dominant and having stats. So that's what he's been good for. That's all we can expect out of Russ. Fantasy numbers.
It's craziness. Drew, we swing to you, brother. Time for you to put out the fire, my man.
So in sports, there's really not too much that I'm hyped up, to throw fire at. I'm excited about football coming up this upcoming season. As far as NFL, we had college this past weekend and talked about that crazy turn of events with our first topic, starting out the show. But I'm going to take this into sports entertainment, wrestling. I'm going to take it to that for my put out the fire. And with the change of events here in the big corporate America version of wrestling with WWE, we've seen some greatness with the change there at WWE, where we have seen the downfall. Where my fire is going to go to this evening is AEW. Guys, what are you doing? After the all-out pay-per-view this last weekend, CM Punk is up there. He's having his press conference at the end. Goes into the locker room, gets into it with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Brandon Takazawa, whatever his name is, Brandon Cutler, the camera guy who's always getting his ass kicked in the videos on YouTube, the one that they're always spraying hairspray in his face, doing the DDT and beating the crap out of him. Yeah, that guy got into it with CM Punk, and everybody but CM Punk got suspended, which means there's toxic stuff going on in the locker room. Whether it's CM Punk, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega, they're all EVPs. They're the bosses over there. So you need to lead by example over there. You've got a toxic situation going over there in AEW from what it sounds like. You're tanking in the ratings ever since Trips took over as head of creative over in WWE, and there's been that shift in power. So when it comes to all that, I love you, AEW, and I've been giving you so much praise over the years. My guy Dio in here, we were at the first ever Dynamite show, had a great time. Ride on the train was entertaining. I did the best I could to make it funny. So me on the train. I got some videos. Not gonna post here on this live stream, but hey,
great.
We had a great time. But ever since that moment, even though I've been high on AEW for the first couple of years, in 2022, that high has come down, and I'm weaning off of that now. We were back to WWE.
Yeah, so WWE's really done their thing the last couple of weeks. Now, as you say that, Tony Khan has announced that there will be a new trios champions tonight. So they've already stripped them of the title and a championship tournament, which they stripped CM Punk of his title.
Did not know that. So that
literally just happened. So don't feel bad. That just happened.
Is it going to be interims again though?
No, I think they took the titles from him. And they're crowning new trios champions tonight, and they're supposed to have a tournament.
I was sorry, but I was mad about that trios ending. I wanted the Dark Order to win it because you've seen the demise of that group since the death of Luke Harper, Brody Lee, the chosen one. Everything has fallen apart for that group, and it's down to just that little small 3 to 4 guys with Adam Hangman Page. I wanted them to win that match. They deserved it. Plus, the EVPs don't need it. They are the EVPs of the company. You don't need to be. You wanted to talk all this smack about Triple H and stuff back in the day, and look at what you're doing in 2022. You got to have all the gold. Come on, guys. Thank you, Tony Khan, for doing the right thing, the first right thing you've done this year.
It's been a crazy ride for AEW because they went from the highest of highs, and now they're starting to find out it has a weird later WCW vibe going right now, and I don't like that. They've got to fix it because with competition creates great wrestling. Joe Dillard Jr., time for you to put out the fire, sir.
Man, that was a really good one. I was sitting here thinking about that angle, and I really like that angle. I also said I could address women in sports. I'm a big advocate of that. Check. We're talking about a fire. The WNBA Finals is coming up soon, and I want to know between Chicago and Connecticut who's going to win. I think this is a great time for them. Check. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. There's a lot of topics that we could talk about, but there's just one that's really on my mind. The sheer disrespect of the ACC this past week and how college football is speaking like the ACC didn't step up. If last time I checked, Florida State is in the ACC and LSU is in the SEC, supposedly the Supreme Conference, and we beat an SEC team, and it's kind of like, oh, let's push that under the carpet. That's Brian Kelly. That's not a part of the SEC. Let's get real here for a minute. Florida State got tripped up by Jackson State last year, and it was everywhere. We come out 2-0. We're on the gates flying, and nobody wants to talk about it. That's fine. We don't need to put this fire out. Let's talk week 8, week 9, if we can keep rolling and winning, because that's all that matters. If you win in college football, that's all that matters. Talk about everything else. So let the ACC be weak. Florida State go undefeated. You'll have a weak team in the college playoff football. My thoughts.
Love it. Love it. There it is, everybody. Everybody has put out the fire here on episode 37 here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. That's it, fellas. We ran through this bad boy. It's been a fun one today. And I appreciate all these guys for coming on and giving their vision and giving their knowledge. And it's so great because and Drew mentioned earlier, we've all been on his show. We've been flipping around. We've been back and forth. We've been rolling back and forth. So much love to everybody. And I just before we go, I want to make sure we give shout out to all our shows on the network. Got to give shout out to the In or Out Sports Debate. Just a great job that Drew has been doing there with the guests coming in. It's been an amazing ride the last couple of months. Keep rocking and rolling up there. Truly appreciate all the hard work that you guys have been doing over there, and just keep rolling with that. Also, my man at the Commonwealth Sports Talk, that's right. If you want the best stuff in Virginia, okay, if you need the breakdowns, you need those personal conversations with athletes and coaches and so on, I can go on and on and on. Joe Dillard and the crew over there at Commonwealth Sports Talk got things going. Also, we got Monster Minutes hitting you up on the weekends, giving you that NASCAR input. Make sure you check out Monster Minutes as they continue. We're getting closer and closer into the playoffs. Things are getting a little bit grindy there, so make sure you check it out. The 3-Putt Golf Show with our man Victor Herrera down there in Texas doing the Darragon thing. If you get a chance, go out and check out some of his great interviews and some of his recaps. My big head and on the Legacy Maker Sports Podcast. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Me and my partner in crime, Jay Quimby, will be back in a couple of weeks to do some stuff. College basketball season is starting up, so Rob Johnson and Ram Talk will be entering the fray here in the next month or so. So just be on the lookout for all those great shows. And, of course, Legacy on Fire, y'all. We want y'all to make sure y'all keep coming back for that. Now, selfless plug. Tomorrow, the Power Rankings on 101 will return for their second season as we give you the Power Rankings going into week 1 of the NFL season. And I gotta give Drew credit here. He's like, Darrell, we need a graphic, man, to show the love here. So I went out there and tried to do the best I could here. This is where you can find us. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the TikTok. We're working on that. That's a work in progress. And of course, LinkedIn. So once again, everybody, and check out our website at www.legacymakersports.com. Now, with all that being said, before we get out of here, Drew, is there anything you'd like to say, brother?
Man, everybody did great with put out the fires, man. That was fun.
Wasn't it good?
This entire episode was a blast, man. We all killed it. So thank all of you for being here. Thank you for having me here, Darrell. Again on episode 37. This has definitely been a blast. Look forward to it all week. It's where I get to show up and not have to put too much work except for what's on my mind.
I can just talk.
You know how it is, the video producer. Like, we gotta throw it all together, do all the prep work, and then we actually have all the fun once we get on the show.
Right.
So for me just to be able to just show up and talk and I love it. Pressure was off. This was a blast. Thank you again.
Awesome. Joe, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
What Drew said, because with Commonwealth Sports Talk, it is a bundle of work and you just want to continue to push forward. And it's just a refreshing break to come on and have the ability to talk with your comrades and talk sports and kind of break bread. And I just love this environment. So thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me the space, man.
Always. And James Brown, of course, the mad myth and the legend. James, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, another great week, another one in the books. Glad to be here. Glad to be the guys, talk sports. Can't wait to do it again.
All right, everybody. That is it. Once again, everybody, y'all take care of yourselves out there. Have fun. Enjoy football tomorrow because guess what? The NFL is back. So y'all make sure y'all enjoy that tomorrow. Hope you have a good one. And we hope to see you next week. If not, we will definitely be back the week after next for Legacy on Fire. Once again, everybody, I'm Darrell Lawrence, Drew Willingham, Joe Dillard Jr., and James Brown. Until next time.